Official business. That's all you need to know.
So he didn't tell you either.
Hey! Turn around and sail back to wherever you came from. This dock is reserved for the Imperial Envoy. And he's late. Huh. Probably died at sea. Good riddance. Wait, you're the... Oh, fuck.
Nice.
Forgive me, Envoy. I meant nothing by it. A slip of the tongue. Can we start over? Name's Cynric, captain of the local militia. We're a scrappy bunch, but we know our way around Paradise. Unlike most Adirans who couldn't find their ass with both their hands. Oh, present company excluded. They told me you were godlike, but I didn't know what to expect. Your face, it's so...
You're doing great.
Forgive me, again. We're having a bit of an emergency. No doubt you've come for the Adiran ambassador, but he's gone, along with our claviger. Well, he's the closest thing we have to a local authority. Part keeper of the keys, part bald fist.
Paradise's mayor, more or less. Most people out here aren't fond of established hierarchies and titles. So, we made up some new ones.
I'm sorry, Envoy, but no one's here to receive it.
Nonsense. There's a small army of pickpockets, smugglers, and scoundrels between those walls who'd be happy to take it off your hands.
Just ignore him. No, there's some kind of blight in the wilderness and rumors of plague. They went to investigate. Nature has a mind of its own in these parts. When the ecosystem changes, we ask ourselves how and why.
Leaderless and rudderless is the natural state of things in Paradise anyway. Keeps things interesting. Where did you say they went? Because I've got an idea.
They traveled northwest to the Strangle Route, past the old Pargroon Wall.
You need to find the ambassador, and I need to find the claviger. How's about we partner up? Out here, people are more likely to think I'm trying to rob you. We don't see many lordly types.
Kai, before you go, make sure he comes back alive, or the Steel Garrote will have my head.
Better yours than mine.
The Steel Garrote are here as guests, helping Adirans like yourself keep the peace. Or so they say.
That's certainly what they'd like you to believe. Sounds like their reputation back home in Adir isn't any better than it is here.
You tell me, Envoy. The Adirans came to our shores with their soldiers, their bureaucrats, and their cult of murderers. Asking a lot of nosy questions is a good way to end up with a knife in your back. Maybe it's better if you don't mention me at all. Speaking of the Steel Garrote, fair warning, their leader, Inquisitor Ludwine, is eager to greet you. Or possibly interrogate you. I heard she's a monster, the personal handmaiden of the Burned Queen. But that's not all. They say she fell in battle in the Dead Fire, and death spat her back out. That's none of my business, and let's keep it that way.
We'll have time to worry about Ludwine later. First, we've got to find your ambassador and my claviger. I'll bet you're glad to be on dry land after that voyage. Come on, let's get you some fresh air. Pargrunen left these beacons all over the island. They're good for finding your way around.
City's getting crowded. Pretty soon the Durans will outnumber us 3-1.
Piss off. What are you looking at? Watch where you're going. Wouldn't want you getting hurt.
Hey! You better watch your step.
What harm could some new armor do? Heading out to the wilds? Make sure you have everything you need. You don't want to... Kai, I told you not to show your face around here again.
Come on. You're not still mad about that hunting knife, are you?
All right, no. You're clear. But you better pay up front this time.
I knew you'd come around. You miss me.
I'll let you think that. Now don't mind him. What are you interested in? Yeah, some of the oldest in Paradise. He's a headache, but that's because you want him to come back alive.
So you do care.
I lied to the Garrote for you. Do I have to spell it out? The living lands are a dangerous place. Time to... Time to...
Dawnshore is most people's first view of the living lands, and last brush with civilization.
Please, how hard is it to answer a question? I can't believe how rude everyone is around here. How hard could it be to find a watcher? I have a little money, if that's what you mean. I assumed I'd have to pay the watcher, though. I have a strange problem, you see. I'm clearly under some kind of curse. A band of Zorips invaded my house. What am I gonna do? Why did they do anything? They've probably eaten all my food and destroyed my supplies. I don't know what else. First, my ship gets attacked by pirates. Then none of my plants will take. Now this happens? And they won't let me into Paradise to sort it out? No one. Trust me, I've tried. I wonder if it's really the Adirans. Keep us out and themselves in. I should never have come here.
Come here for a better life and find a worse one. Wish I hadn't heard that before.
Thank the gods. I wasn't sure how many more pitying looks I could stand. Then take my house key. It's northwest of here. That cabin on the cliff all by itself. Gods know I can't go back. And there's nothing to steal either. The Zorips saw to that. Come back when you've dealt with them. And make sure you get their leader, too. I'm sorry, but I don't think they'll go quietly. You'll have to kill them. Thank you. That may not be worth much coming from a stranger, but I mean it.
I have nothing for you. Your countrymen have already bought up my entire inventory.
I already told her I don't want to be involved.
You say the militia have closed Paradise to newcomers, so where should I go?
Well, there's always the shanty town, but, well, you know.
Yeah, I haven't heard the best things about that place. Is there nowhere else?
Perhaps the irritant.
First get the leaves, his letters won't turn up.
Que larde. I'd heard a godlike had come to Paradise.
Oh, hey, Sansa. Comes on a little strong, that's all. He doesn't bite.
But to meet you, what an honor. Who is your patron? Were you drawn to this place? A godlike of unknown provenance. Even more interesting. Who knows? Perhaps you'll find the answers you're looking for here. Listen, you haven't been to the wilds east of the city, have you? Maybe that's for the best. Then have you seen a cartographer in the area? A human, about my height. He must have gone farther than I thought. His name is Girmund. He's my assistant, and I'm worried about him. I sent him to map the eastern wilds. I knew it would be perilous, but it's been a long time since he's written, even for him. Bandits, smugglers, spiders with eyes as big as plates.
You know how many so-called adventurers I've saved out there?
It's an intrepid occupation.
3, this month.
As I said, if you find him and bring me his map, I'll be glad to pay you for it. I may even have more work for you. When he last wrote, he was mapping the eastern ruins. Take the letter. It might help. If you find him, bring his work to my shop in Paradise Town. You're welcome anytime. I have quite the assortment of curios. Maybe you'll even buy one of my maps.
Well, that's our marching orders then.
Hilly is tits. Someone was actually brazen enough to sneak into the camp for this. This.
People are angry. They can't see how much good we've done.
Build another palisade just like the last. When this one falls, what'll you adherents do then?
Watch out once you get past the palisades. The Strangerroot is apparently hostile to life, as the scholars say. Wait a moment. Oh, Birth, eat my soul. You're the envoy. Sorry, didn't mean to be so informal. They said the Emperor sent one of his best and brightest, and Aethys knows we need the help.
Your reputation precedes you.
I hope your voyage here was smooth as good butter. I know maybe too much about rough seas, what with serving in the galleys. Did you deserve it? Kidding. Sorry to hear, envoy. The living lands is dangerous. We should be sticking together. Can't imagine what might have possessed them to do that. I hope it isn't the damn soul plague. I haven't seen anything like that before. It seems to change people. Animals. Feels sometimes like the plague is alive somehow. Sorry for the glib tongue. I've tried to be more proper before. Didn't work. I'm no good at niceties, including abiding by most rules. The law and I aren't exactly the best of friends, no. Although, I think that's Adia's problem. I was mostly just stealing food. If you're born to the wrong social class, Adia makes climbing the ranks rather difficult. Anyway, that's all in the past. Land? No, absolutely not. What I've learned is you can either obey the rules or die. I got caught for my many small, petty crimes and spent about 6 years on the prison galleys. Then, a year ago, an Adiran official came to the jails and told us we could serve the Empire for a shortened sentence or rot. You can guess which I chose. Oh, you're a funny one, envoy. Free. Am I free after this? And they say the Adiran elite have no sense of humor. All in all, it's a pretty sweet deal. 3 square meals, bed of my own, maybe even a chance to retire as a clerk. Wouldn't mind being bored stupid for a few years. Better than the alternative. But first, even more palisades. Listen, envoy. I'm here to build defenses against the land. You want geography lessons? Go ask a cartographer. I do know a few things, though. So, ask. No, none. It's all untamed wilderness and feral heathens. I'm joking. Of course there are. There's Fjord, which is run by animancers. Thirdborn, where all the ruffians dwell. And Solus Keep, which has the Palgrunin, who don't like anybody. And happily, too. Sounds like they've got a whole colony of inventors and researchers there. If I want a servant of the Adiran Empire, I might say it sounds fascinating. Groundbreaking, even. I know animancy is considered blasphemous and dangerous, but Fjord supplies most of the produce we eat here in Paradise. They must be doing something right. Miscreants and layabouts and all those great things. The kind of people who can make a life out of impossibly bad situations. Settlements just as rough and tumble. Wouldn't mind having a drink with the locals, to be honest. They sound like they've got stories. You know what I mean? Heard they're under siege right now, though, by those dream thralls. Wouldn't want to be them, between the desert weather and that. I mean, the Pargrunin dwarves won't talk to anybody. They stay inside Solace Keep and just never come out. Once again, I'm no cartographer. But you know what they say about continents with small acreage? They've got big personalities. Little bit of everything here. Poison swamps, deserts, snow-covered mountains, volcanoes, acid seas. Because why not? A cartographer might be able to tell you more. I hear there's one in town. I don't know. I mean, I know some people in Adir think of godlike as blessed by the gods. What with you lot having a divine resemblance and all. Although, I guess some folk think godlike are cursed. Depends on what sort you are. Frankly, I don't know if I've seen your particular kind before. Still, I think there are stranger things than you in the living lands, envoy. No offense, but more importantly, that it lives up to its name. Wilder place than Adir, which has been stomped into civility. The living land scares our empire, I think. Otherwise, it wouldn't be sending its most expendable folk here. Present company excluded, of course. I think the living lands won't want to be leashed by the empire, though. But that's my opinion. I've been here a while. Ask them, then. You're a nice distraction, envoy. He and the Clavager passed through not long ago. I didn't much like it, but they refused an escort. Less competent than he seems. You think with all the time the ambassador spends working, he'd have more done. No, I hear he's about to sneeze away from swallowing the muck he's paddling in. Poor man. Hot-tempered bastard. I think the ambassador's scared of him, but won't do a thing because the Clavager keeps the wheels turning. Good at its job, though. Purportedly. Bad about his confections. Sweet tooth like a hummingbird's. He and the ambassador make a good pair, honestly. The ambassador talks a lot. The Clavager gets the administrative day-to-day done. Honestly, I'm more scared of her than Woduka. At least I understand why the Burned Queen is so pissed. Ludwine runs the Steel Garrote, Woduka's order of paladins. The only thing they care about is their Burned Queen. There's honor among thieves, envoy. But zealots, they'll raise the world for their god. About Adir. Same hungry empire that is looking to gobble up the living lands. The one that sends people out to maybe die for its ambitions. Kind of you to ask, envoy. The truth is, not really. Adir's fair and good to the people it thinks deserve compassion. But break its trust, and well, Adir will make you crawl to retrieve the pieces. You can tell it's a place that worships Woduka. Actually, I miss the pies. The crust's all wrong here. Just take a look down the road, and you'll see the last palisades we tried to hold. And the ones before them. We're trying our best to keep the wilds at bay here, envoy. The Strangleroot is hungry. Every day, it gets closer. Every day, weirder creatures crawl out from its foliage. Be careful if you're headed out there. Anyway. Pargrunin beer is surprisingly terrible. Always trust in a Mauen to know where the best seafood is. Pay attention when the locals tell you something. And watch out for poets. Something's odd about them.
So, how long do you think it'll be before the locals realize how much good we're doing for them?
Realize? They're never gonna realize anything of the sort. It'll always be the invaders to them.
I don't Saves some skates for the rest of us.
Jolly boys! Seems luck is on my side.
Tildy at the bathhouse, more like. I saw her give you those lucky dice.
Oh, I think you're just jealous that she likes me more than you.
If she likes you that much, why is she still charging?
Shut up, look alive! Margaret would be ashamed to witness such incompetence. My grandfather could do a better job than you lot. He's missing both arms. Another recruit. By the flames, Cynric finds the strangest types. Is that supposed to impress me? If you think you're so tough, why don't you prove to me what you've got? Spar with me. I'll take on you and your big blue friend.
If you're sure, I've got plenty of reach.
Oh, it'll be fun, all right. In Mogren's name, prepare yourself.
Now!
Well done. You have passed.
Better part of valor. Don't get too used to the comfort.
It's clear I underestimated your prowess. Fierce as a Rathoon you are, envoy. Now for your prize. Our surplus includes a large hammer, an arquebus, a spear, and a wand. What say you, huh? Stick 'em with the pointy end, clean and simple. Keep your distance in a fight, and the spear will serve you well. So that's your choice. Aha, the blessed firearm. Its flames burn brighter and faster than any I've seen before. With it, you will destroy your enemies. The arquebus, then? Ah, nothing more satisfying than smashing your foes until they're a bloody pulp. You sure? It is done. May Mogren's wrath fall upon your enemies, envoy.
The local militia's lack. Between tensions in the city and threats outside, the militia's in over their heads.
Is that? Get serious, get lost. Unless you're here to trade, don't bother me.
You know, for most people, getting sent to the Living Lands is a punishment. But, according to Cynric, you're the personal envoy of the Emperor of Adir himself. Quite a position. Now I've got to wonder what you did to get on his bad side. The Living Lands is a far cry from fancy parties and court events. Then I hope you're prepared. The Living Lands is wilder than most. Though I should warn you, you can't rely on charm against Azurup. And I'll bet you know some excellent court gossip. But That brings me to the real question. Why would the Emperor of Adir send a noble all the way to the Living Lands? Oh, that almost does sound like a punishment. I don't know how you investigate a so-called plague of the soul, so better you than me. Being a godlike, I don't suppose your patron deity gives you any unique insights into matters of the soul, do they? I thought every godlike knew their god. That's one of the stranger things I've heard. And out here, that's saying something. Sorry, these are unusual times. I haven't met anyone who's really seen the Dream Scourge yet, but that hasn't stopped people from worrying about the rumors. Refugees are flooding in from outlying regions. The guards are restricting access to the city. And people are making offerings to the gods for everything from hangovers to indigestion, just in case. I like your confidence, just be careful how you express it. Unfortunately, the presence of so many Adiran troops and the rumored exploits of the Steel Garrote paladins supporting them is only making a tense situation worse. I think that's why the Clavenger accompanied your ambassador. Exactly. Paradise has been quiet lately, but I don't know how long that'll last. We're talking about an island that has been largely settled by nomads, exiles, and dissidents. People who tend to be suspicious of authority. But what about you? What's your stake in things? Besides your orders, of course. Ah, I used to march to a similar drumbeat back when I served in the Rawatayan Navy. But that's a story for another time. I'll let you get some rest, but thanks for talking. It's good to be part of a squad again, even if it's just for a while. They say people afflicted with it have strange, vivid dreams and start confusing them with reality. What starts as a light daze becomes severe disorientation and eventually a bent towards chaotic violence. And then, fungal growths take over your body. So Dream Scourge. No, Dream Scourge is different. It spreads all over. Still, if you see any new mushrooms sprouting up anywhere unexpected, let me know. Until then, look on the bright side. The Living Lands is filled with people and things that are likelier to kill you first. It's the gateway to the Living Lands, a scenic port city that's as beautiful and dangerous as the wilds around it. Most visitors enjoy some mariner's porridge at the Ballarrock, a back alley shakedown, and then the sudden return of that porridge out of one end or the other. Then, if they've got any sins, they turn around and take their chances back where they came from, with authentic tales of their adventures in the Living Lands. Don't get me wrong, it's a great city. In part because it's great at winnowing out people who have no business being here. The Living Lands means a hard-won second chance for the people who settle here. But first, you've got to survive it. And the island gives no quarter. For a lot of people, the Living Lands is a last resort. They come fleeing war, debt, famine, the law. Take your pick. For others, it's freedom. To seek glory, to redefine yourself, to live in a way you can't, maybe even on pain of death wherever you come from. It was, for some. Not always the types you'd want as your neighbors. Used to be. If you could last out here, you could count on being left alone. That's what some fear. Ilgard's new embassy and his alliance with the Stilgarrote smell like the authority and order that a lot of people came here to leave behind. But I don't mean to put that on you. I imagine you're tired of having to answer for every Adiran who sneezes into somebody's stew. And I've got answers. Some of them may even be true. That must have been 6 years ago now. I guess I was drifting, looking for a change. A settlement called Thirdborn. It's a rugged little place, lots of Rowatayan expatriates. It really was. Anyway, we were talking about something else, yeah? I joined up with the Rowatayan Navy as soon as I was old enough. I was part of our campaign to establish a foothold in the Deadfire Archipelago. Starting out, it was exciting, purposeful. I believed in our mission. We were returning to our ancestral homeland, reclaiming fertile soil that would feed Rawatai. Additionally, we were helping Deadfire, bringing organization to the pirate-ridden archipelago and civilization to our distant Wana cousins. To Adir bringing order and civilization to our lawless frontier? Then I hope you learn from my mistakes faster than I did. The Huana didn't want us there. We spent almost as much time fighting the tribes as we did pirates and Wilder. And it was hard to see how any of our fighting and dying was feeding people back home. I'd always heard that war was supposed to temper us, strengthen us, but I didn't see that either. Some fell apart. Some bought into the cruelty that our continued presence required. Others didn't buy into it, but went along with it anyway. And that bothered me more somehow. I deserted. And I bounced between different mercenary companies for almost 10 years. Hey, not all of us catch on so quick. Besides, there were only so many options for a Rowatayan deserter with no training and anything else. As a mercenary, I figured I could at least choose my battles and my crew. I ended up here, didn't I? It was more of the same. The only comfort was being part of a squad. By the time I came to the Living Lands, I'd seen enough, had enough. I did. Yeah, for a while. Look, if I can give you some hard-won advice, stay on your toes. You're in a difficult position. Whatever your role asks of you, make sure it's something you're willing to give. Because you're the one who has to live with the consequences. I figured. What gave it away? My finely pointed teeth? Or the striking blue of my scales? Fair enough. My people are known to roam. Rowatai's hardly a hospitable environment. Many of us end up settling elsewhere or making a living on the go. That's where you get the popular image of the Amawa bodyguard or mercenary. Then you must have come during our sunny season. Lashed by storms and battered by waves. We call it the rough country. And old trenchers say it's made us who we are. We do a lot of digging for irrigation, drainage, warfare, the occasional village tournament. Anyone from Rawatai has spent enough time in some kind of hole in the ground to be on a first-name basis with the worms. So, trenchers. Those of us who leave are scramble roots, hardy weeds that can survive just about anywhere. You'd fit right in with the Ranganui's inner circle. It's true that the same things that make Rauatai a difficult place to live have shaped our people and our kingdom. Our coral masons have built living harbors and fortifications along the coast to protect our ships and shelter our cities. For all our shortage of fertile soil, Rauatai's land is abundant in saltpeter, copper, iron, most of the other materials you need to outfit your military with weapons and cannons. We value struggling and striving together. It helped us survive and build one of the most powerful navies in Aora. You're not wrong, though my countrymen would point out that we had to expand to find fertile land to feed our people. And the scattered kingdoms we've absorbed in the process have joined one of the most advanced nations in the world. And that's what I like about the Living Lands, where most civic concerns are about as nuanced as a wall of sharpened stakes. Until recently, anyway. I'll tell you what I can. Shoot. I'll tell you what I can. We should be safe enough, but I'll take watch, just in case. I haven't seen this much excitement in a while. Perhaps I've got you to thank for bringing it with you, Envoy. After your voyage, it must be nice to spend the night on dry land. Personally, I've always found the rocking of a ship to be soothing. As long as I've got my feet facing the bow, that is.
Venture past the palisades at your own risk. There's no guarantee. We've already had to move back the palisades line a few times.
Beautiful view from these cliffs. Real long way down, too. Zarabs. They may be small, but they'll overwhelm you if you're not careful.
Let's see what you got. Nice.
I was just getting warmed up.
Show me what you got.
Give me a target. Hey! Over here! Nice shot!
Watch your back. Come and get it!
This is the Hengen's place, or was. It's the Zarabs now. Right back. Anything juicy? Maybe it has something to do with that wall painting in the other room. Let's check it out. I'm no art critic, but I've never seen a mural like that. Looks like an elf and Zarup holding hands. What do you see? Why don't we ask Tehangan about it? It's her house. She ought to know something.
Oh, please tell me I can go home now. You read my journal? That's private. Why would you do a thing like that? What are you implying? All right, I lied to you. I can't keep it up anymore. Have you ever felt aimless? Like you ought to have a purpose, but you don't? Like you'd do anything to find out why you're meant to be here? That's a stupid question, isn't it? Of course you'd understand. An animancer told me that I might have half a soul. I finally had an answer. The question was, who got the other half? I thought if I could meet this person and see what they were like, I might gain some purpose or something. And then I came here and found a Zarup. But what do I do about it? How do I not think about what I can never have? I've got to find some meaning in all this. I can't go back and I can't go forward. I'm just stuck here. Lost. Again. Are you serious? I don't call raiding my house diplomatic. If you're positive it doesn't mean me any harm, I'll go. I'll be brave. I'll find it. I really hope you're right. Oh, I forgot. You still deserve to be paid for your time, if nothing else. I didn't think... Well, it's nice to get help from an Adiran. I'll say that much.